Hey, demo is easy. A hammer and a chisel, like in 1991, but
And he told me, I'm sorry, this is not for me. This
Oh my
is
gosh.
too hard. This demo is intense, and
okay, I'm going to roll up my
He watched
sleeve.
Home Improvement with Tim Allen. He's ready to go. Yeah.
And I can just do it.
oftentimes, like if you're removing a house, a part of a house or whatever, you have to get a plumber to come in and an electrician to come in to do their part, their trades.
In order to have guys who really take
That's
pride
right,
and
yeah.
care,
Yeah.
you have to pay them a lot. If you
Same
if you
here.
pay bottom of the barrel,
Yeah.
you're gonna get bottom of the barrel.
Yes.
That's the
Yeah,
only
that's
person who's
right,
gonna
that's
do that, right?
We do background checks, we do drug testing. Those are important things in demolition. You really have to be present. You can't be, on drugs.
Make the culture the way that is really good. Make it a great culture to attract those individuals in.
Stuff will happen.
Yeah.
Just like
Take care
overcome
of it.
them,
Take
and
care
then
of it,
and then
yeah.
that's it.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, that's what everybody says who has a construction business. They say, "Double will happen," and we take care of it. Welcome to the Trust Business Podcast. Today I have two very special guests. I have Frederick Paolo and I have Patricia Paolo, the owners of Dynamite Demolition Company. These guys are awesome, and today we're going to talk about why you hire a professional demolition company. Thanks for being on, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So let's start off. You guys obviously own Dynamite Demolition Company. We partner with you guys a lot. Tell me a little bit your story, whichever you guys wants to go, or both,
Sure.
or whatever. Tell me your story and how you kind of got into this and what brings you into that industry.
Okay.
Go for it.
It started actually in a long time ago, in 1991.
Wow.
I was fresh out of the university, and then I was like, okay, summer is there. What I'm going to do? And then he was like, hey, do you want to go to Copenhagen? To work with us? And I was like, ooh, I'm young. Why not? And I started, and I did demo. And I will remember this demo until the end of my life. Like, this was hammer and chisel, and we had to slim down a wall, and it was like hard. And I was like, okay, demo, this is not for me.
Yeah.
So then fast forward, almost 20 years.
Yeah.
And then back we got married, and then we were like, hey, there is this opportunity of demo, and I had learned, from the first day to then, I got wiser, more gray hair.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, good. So let's see how demo have evolved, since then.
Yeah.
And then we have put our staff to it, and we have done demo. And
So you guys started this company in 2020 is when you started running this company.
Around
Yeah.
2021, but it's actually existed since 2018, this
Okay.
company, so we bought it at that time.
You guys took over. Cool.
And, so it kind of evolved, but I would say that in all of the things we've done in the last 10 years or so, it's always been very detail oriented. So, we liked that this was very much strategic demolition, which means you're not just tearing everything down, but you're aiming for an exact thing.
Right, so you're not coming in and bulldozing the whole house. Although you guys might do that too.
We do that too.
But coming into like that kitchen and okay, we're just going to remove the island so a new island can get placed. And how do you do that without creating as little damage and wear and tear as possible across the board everywhere else, which obviously takes some more skill.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
because there is a little bit of misconception about demo. You're like, hey, demo is easy, a hammer and a chisel, like in 1991. But now it is like if you do that, you can end up doing more damage and more costly damage than actually doing what you were supposed to do, and then the next trade comes in. And then boom, it is a smooth transition. They are not like, oh, those guys demo too much, or the line is not straight, or I didn't intend. Like if we don't remove that, I have to remove it. It's a bunch of knowledge that we have that say, okay, good. So we can guide our customer. We can have an educated conversation with our contractors. And then we are a player. They know that when we are there, it is as if we were never there. However, the job is done, it's clean, and then they can just move right on and then do their part.
Right, right. So you guys probably work a lot with like general contractors
We
and
do.
stuff along those lines.
Yeah, we do general contractor, we do customers, you know, and we do we have at the mall a lot because they
Yeah,
like.
I've seen that on Facebook. You guys are always in the International Mall taking it down, which actually makes a lot of sense if you think about it, because it goes from it's a Vans and it's set up this way. Well, they want to put a salon in there. They need all that out and clean floors so they can start from scratch.
That's right, and the challenge is it is due to the fact that they are very high expectation. You know, like we have to to clean. In between, like because a customer, when they go and shop to the mall, they don't want to have their shoes all dusty, or I've gone through, an entire dust cloud, to go and go shopping. No, so we have a protocol where we are very clean, and then we make sure that there is no impact. On the customer.
Do you guys do it like early mornings or late nights?
Nights.
Yeah.
Usually night jobs.
Yeah. It is night very often, and we are to the point where we can walk all the way to the opening now, because they trust us that when we leave, we will have a clean space, and this will not have any negative
impact on the traffic.
Yeah, that's right.
Nice. I love that. That's very cool.
Oh, I thought of a little story real quick.
Yeah, go for it.
Demolition. So about 10 years ago when we bought our first house here in Florida, it was like, like the traditional kind of Florida home that you have these days.
Yeah.
1950s build, built left in the 60s, 70s.
Yeah. It was wood framed.
Green carpet and everything. So we decided, we had just had our first baby, we decided we were going to renovate the whole thing, kind of do it ourselves.
DIY.
I mean, when he says doing yourself.
Yeah.
And so he was up at night, demoing.
Frederick does it himself, yeah.
Well, I do the design.
Yeah.
So,
it's a team action.
And we did pretty good on it. Our budget wasn't huge. We had an IKEA kitchen, butcher block countertops and so forth. And there was one bathroom we left it till later. We'd moved in, we renovated the rest of it. But so then we decided, well, we're going to do this bathroom now. So I thought, well, I'm just going to hire somebody off Facebook to come and do the demo, just find someone. I'll tell them it's $20 an hour. They'll be happy,
Yeah.
So I looked for some people. I think we ended up renting a jackhammer from Home Depot.
Yeah.
Had it in there, I had a couple guys come. And I just remember they were going at it for 2 hours, this guy, and he was a hard worker.
Yeah.
And he told me, I'm sorry, this is not for me. This
oh my
is
gosh.
too hard. This demo is intense. And I think that was kind of like the first time that I realized that demolition is no joke.
Yeah.
Like you gotta be, have to know what you're getting into.
Yeah.
And you have to know your tools. You have to know what to use. And that was
how to use it.
How to use it. And because I realized, coming into this industry, like everything has its tool.
Yeah.
Like if you have a glued down hardwood floor, you're not going in there without one of those floor machines, the ride-on ones. You're not going to get that stuff up. You know what I'm saying? You can go in there with your crowbar and you'll spend the next 3 weeks getting that floor up,
It's so true. There's so much value in just knowing what you're doing and being the professional at something. I remember a similar story. There was a homeowner who I was bidding a roof to, and he had started the project on his own. One guy on his own. He's probably in his 60s, late 60s. He was an older gentleman, right? And the wife called me, and he was mid the project for like a week and a half at this point. All he had done was he had done a ton of removal, and he had temporary tarps out, and he didn't have all the removal. He had about half it removed, and he had tarps, temporary holding, and we have like big storms coming in. And she's like, oh my God, that's it. You're hiring somebody. So we came in and looked at it, and I was willing to help him out with it. There was another roofing company who didn't want to touch it because he had started half it, and it can be a little bit more of a liability for us, like, oh, who did what? But we got into communication, talked to him, and and took the job on, and we came in and obviously just took care of the project in one day, right? Took care of it. I sent my 6 guys, and we did what we needed to do. Even just down to like, I remember when I would just be roofing and just removing the shingles. It might look so simple, and it is relatively simple, but when you hire somebody, it's their first day ever coming, they will start doing it with a technique that would take 3 to 4 times longer than another technique. There's like, okay, no, you first do this, then you stack them, then you pull the nail. Like there's just a process to anything, and there's a lot of value in just knowing that and doing it day in, day out. I mean, your guys who do demolition do it 365 days a year. That's their trade. That's what they're pro at, and that's what you manage 365 days a year. So it's tough for, I don't know, a GC and for his guy who normally does the framing or normally does this to come in and do it at the level that is expected, the quickness that's expected, the professionalism that's expected.
That's right. And that's one of the things that we really pride ourselves on and also take care of is if we're gonna do a bathroom in a several $1 million mansion or home or whatever, we make sure everything is encapsulated. We put down floor protection, we make sure dust control, make sure we're just handling that part. If we're taking down the full house, that's a different story.
Yeah.
But, so people really like that. Contractors really like that about our services. And same with homeowners. And oftentimes it's like we'll be hired to maybe just do the kitchen or the bathroom or whatever it is, and then they see our work and then they're like, hey, actually while you're here, could you take care of this as well? And I needed this removed, and so we
and
just
then it kind of will grow like that. That's cool.
Yeah, to go back also to the thing that you were saying, it is that the contractor, they see like the amount of time we are spending on it. If it were their framer or their painter doing that, first of all, the guy didn't wake up in the morning and say, hey, I'm going to demo. Our guys wake up in the morning and they are, hey, I'm going to demo.
That's the mindset.
Yeah, that's the mindset. But the other thing is that when the framer is doing demo, or the painter is not making money for the contractor.
Right.
A framer, can generate way more income
revenue by framing
than doing the demo.
Yeah.
So even though you're like, I keep the guys busy, but if it is so, if it is so, but if it is between framing and doing demo, keep the guy framing or the guy painting or the guy. First of all, this is what the guy loves, and then second of all, you make more money even if you have to hire a demo crew to do the demo part.
Right, and then you can sell, in theory, if you could sell twice the jobs, demo gets done by you guys, and then they have their drywallers come in and do the texture or whatever.
Boom, yeah.
I like
it.
it.
And then the amount, the contractor, they understand that very fast. They are like, okay, good. So I could do that one job, for how many months, to a year, or I can do that many jobs. If I get those guys to do the demo, boom, my guys come right on the back of it, and then we just circulate.
Also, there's different jobs. Like you might be coming in to replace 2 sheets of drywall in a place. Okay, fine. You don't need a demo company, right? Whatever. But you're like, okay, you're replacing a bathroom in an $8 million home. Yeah. I don't want my drywall anywhere near doing that demo. I want someone who does that every day, and they do the floor protection, and they set it up, and they have a relationship with the homeowner, and they get professional on it. Yeah. Construction's a tough industry. This is a hard industry. There's a lot that, a lot of good in it, a lot that can go right, and then there's stuff that can go wrong. What for you guys is like, would you say off the top of your heads, number one challenge in your industry in demolition, and then also, what you guys do and how you face it?
Well, okay, so for example, you have a little story. We had a customer, his brother-in-law started to do the demo of his home. He had watched one of the showing. He goes like, okay, I'm going to roll up my sleeve.
Home Improvement with Tim Allen. He's ready to go. Yeah.
And I can just do it. And then, but little did he know, it is that you have walls that are different function in the house. You probably load bearing versus non-load bearing. Yeah. So but he was like, okay, that's my concept. Open concept, open house concept. So he has started to take down everything that he didn't want to see in the house. And unfortunately, some of those walls were load bearing. So the difference with a professional is that we will check, to make sure that this is not a load bearing, or even the architect, will tell him, okay, you can do that or you cannot do that. But let's say the customer has an idea and he goes like, hey, I want to do that. And then we can help him and say, yes, okay, you can do that. Or if you want to have an open concept, you need to replace that wall with either a beam, and then we can go over with the contractor. So make sure that your idea stay in the house and you don't lose the house, your dream, in the process of.
Did that house, like, it didn't come down or anything, but he had to add some.
The roof
Did it sag?
start to sag.
Oh no! Was it able to be jacked up and then columns or arches placed or something?
Yeah.
Jeez, but it was a lot more expensive to do it after the fact.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well, that's also in the state of Florida. You have to have a license as a demo company.
Right.
Because you have to pull permits.
Right.
Every municipality is different on the permitting and so forth. But we always check. I mean, we have like the main parameters kind of that we know of.
Right.
If you have to pull the permit.
You guys are like a license. You have a license GC.
Yes,
license,
exactly.
right?
So we have a CVC license, which lets us actually build a new build up to 3 stories high.
Yeah, if you could make it, yeah.
So, and then we pull permits, we're obviously licensed and insured. And so we make sure like we follow the parameters of each of the municipalities. If, for example, in an example like that, we would need an engineer to look at the walls,
And to stamp that, okay, these can go away, or if they do, you need to build this arch this way or add this column. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And oftentimes, like if you're removing a part of a house or whatever, you have to get a plumber to come in and an electrician to come in to do their part, their trades. They have to cut and cap, the plumbing or the electrical back to the, wherever, to the switchboard, so that you're not, getting in the way of something when you're demoing it, making sure it's all safe.
Yeah, and you have to make sure, that you have to have the licensed electrical contractor in Florida, the licensed plumber in Florida. There's some states where you can be a GC and you can do everything, but it's not like that in Florida. It's very like roofing. You have to have a roofing license or do the roofing, which is good in a way because it makes it sure that the professionals who are that's what they do.
That's right.
And that's what they come in and look at.
And that's what, when you're saying like the challenges you face or whatever, like honestly, there's like, there's a few demo companies around.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of work, so we don't really have too much of an issue with competition.
Right.
But what we do run into is like maybe handymen who
Right.
are kind of doing the demolition, but they're not licensed and insured, particularly. Right.
Right.
And then you have like homeowners or whatever who want.
Yeah, I run into that all the time in my roofing industry, and there's stuff that's like interesting. Like we have in-house guys, right? 90% of the labor is like on W-2, right? So those guys are getting paid. The workers' comp is getting paid. The legit insurance is getting paid. I mean, across the board, right? There are other roofing companies who pay, and I pay my guys very, very well, because in order to have guys who really take pride and care, you have to pay them a lot. If you pay bottom of the barrel, you're going to get bottom of the barrel. That's the only person who's going to do that, right? Because otherwise, they're going to go, wait a minute, I'm the best. I'm not going to work for this roofing company who doesn't take care of me. I'm going to go work for, maybe my company or, one of the other companies here who really takes care of them. So that's the thing, right? And, when bidding, it can be tough but I'll just tell homeowners, hey, look, I understand that bid. Their labor, maybe they're paying them 20-30% less, right? And if that's cash under the table, so it can create a lot of stuff like that. So I get it on the competition, but
so we've run into that too. You
Yeah.
know, sometimes we'll have a contractor, we'll be doing business, and they're like, "Hey, I found these guys, and they're way cheaper." Okay, man.
Yeah.
That's up to you.
That's up to you, yeah.
You know what you are signing.
You have to just hold it
But we
down.
know too that there's demo companies who pay cash under the
Of
table.
course.
Same thing. So we're like, no, everything's above board.
Compete and do it your way. One thing you guys do, and I see on your social media and stuff, and I know some of your team members, is you have awesome W-2 guys or in-house who come to the show every day. I mean, it's the same guys. I see guys on your Facebook and working with you. Same guys for like 2 years, which is impressive, that retention. So what do you guys do in order to attract that talent and then retain them and then make sure that they're trained and know what they're doing, obviously, because that's something that just from an outlooker I observe that you guys seem to do pretty well at.
Sure. Yeah. So, I mean, first of all, we do background checks, we do drug testing. Those are important things in demolition. You really have to be present. You can't be, on drugs.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yes, absolutely.
Although, you never know in this day and age, So, you're operating a jackhammer, you're up on a ladder, you really have to be aware of what you're doing.
Yeah.
Demolition probably more so than even some other trades, like, you really got to follow the OSHA standards and the OSHA guidelines and rules on safety. the protocols, you know.
Yeah, I feel like they were like designed for that trade. Like
That's
wear your
right.
glasses,
That's
wear
right.
your hard hat.
Right.
Like there is stuff flying around. Wear
Yep.
your good gloves.
That's
like
right. Yeah.
yeah.
And
Plus, it is a process, because you are not born knowing everything about OSHA.
Yeah.
But you have to be willing to to see what you don't know and then to learn
and
from
keep,
it.
keep updating your training and keep updating your knowledge. And I would say, in terms of safety at the workplace, we're doing really well. We've never had any major things happen.
Nice.
So so we kind of, the drug testing, the background checking, and then really seeing the people in production, and where people excel and do well, reward them for it, really see that they get like raises or, validate them in ways you can, come up with more employee benefits that you can give them to make it fun for them, make it worth their while, make them have pride in their production and in their, have morale. In their
Yeah,
work.
and then also what I would say is that we do handpick all of our guys. This is not like a wholesale. Okay, good. We are going to work for a demo company, and then yeehaw. No, this is like the guys that stay with us. We are proud of them.
Yeah.
Because they are the guys that are in contact with our customers.
Yeah.
And then also very often our customers, comment to us, how civilized, how polite our guys are, because this is how we want them to be with the way we will be with our customers. So they know that they represent us, and they are proud of doing that. And then you see it in the job that they are doing. Like when they leave the space, it's clean. There is no half-done job, and they know that they represent Dynamite Demolition Service when they leave. And they might be gone, but the job stay there and talk for themselves. So talk to, hey, this is what we did. We are not there anymore, but this is our gift to you. And they like to leave a nice job site when they
Nice.
leave. Yeah.
And what you probably also noticed in your industry is like people just like it when you show up on time.
Yes.
Like you say
Or
you're
you
going to be
communicate,
there.
yeah.
You say your estimator will be there at a certain time. They show up. They give you the estimate within a reasonable or fast time. It's a quick turnaround. It really impresses people. I mean,
Yeah.
in Florida, particularly, like you said, it's a challenging, industry. The construction industry. There's a lot of people who don't really give a damn.
Yeah. One of the reasons for that, I think, is you really look like, well, what's the reason for that? I think one of the reasons for that, or the struggles, is like attracting top talent and like individuals who really care into the trades industries. And that's something that there's a shortage of out there. So kind of to your guys' point, like, make the culture the way that is really good, make it a great culture to attract those individuals in it. That's what I'm trying to do, is like create a culture, create a team, create positivity, create also a roadmap, like something that I do even for like my crew foreman is I create a roadmap, like, where can you go in truss roofing? Like, what does your 2-year roadmap look like? So that they're like, they can get interested and active in a game and into growth.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, something that's really important, is just to create that so that we can have good people who want to get into the trades and are interested in it.
Yeah,
That's right.
And then what we do, it is like, and I tell all the guys, I say, look, you are the first one. Like we have a team now, and I said, as we grow, the new guy is not going there; he's going there.
Right.
So the oldest, the team leader we have is our oldest guy, and he has like 4 guys under him.
Yeah.
And then and this is a little bit the maximum, like 4 or 5 guys
Yeah.
under one team.
Yeah.
And then so the next team will go under the next deserving team leader, and
Right.
this is how we are going to grow. So that if you keep doing a good job, you are going to end up, as a team leader position.
Right.
This comes with a better pay, better bonuses and everything. But this is how we like to grow, because the guy that was there the longest definitely knows the most about the culture, the more about the company, how he has dealt with all of the demo, because we rarely have not one day without a demo job. So they have been grooved to.
That's
all the
that's so
different
important
cycle.
to keep. That's one thing. It's so important, and it's the challenge of like having your own workforce in construction. Is
Yeah.
now you have to sell enough to keep them always busy,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
like But I feel like if you have a really good marketing system and a good sales system behind the scenes, you should be able to back that up, and you really have to, because if you have a great team and then you tell them, oh, there's
don't
2
want to
days
lose them.
you don't work today,
Yeah.
they're
Oh, yes,
like,
true.
and then the next week another time they're like, this is their
Wait a
consistent
minute,
income
yeah.
that they're
Yeah.
counting on.
Yeah, the family
Yeah.
depends on it,
So in
and
the
so they-
beginning, it was like that was exactly the challenge,
Yeah.
and then like the momentum, just like we got up to like, I mean, for you that's small fry, but like 11 jobs at a time.
11 jobs at a time?
That was a lot.
That's not small fry for me. I mean, that's a lot. I mean, you mean you had 11 jobs sold that were on your calendar?
No.
Going on at
like
once?
Going on
time,
at the same
all
time.
at
yeah.
No,
once.
that's a lot. I mean, we have 7 crews, so it'll be 7 jobs going on today, and then there'll 6 repair techs, they might have theirs. But sometimes you'll have like jobs in punch list category that are like, so at any given time we probably have 20 or 25
No,
going
that
on.
was
But
last
11's a lot.
summer, and he was not sleeping. It was like around the clock.
Wow.
It was pretty crazy. So we found like it kind of like crescendos in the summer, September, October.
Yeah.
That's really when everything is going, because a lot of contractors at the beginning of the year is when they send out all their bids. Right, and so then they get them started April, May, and then they're really like going,
Yeah.
So, but like in terms of like keeping the crew and having those jobs, like doing a good job is like the number one priority, because then the contractor will come back and you just have that repeat business, and then they will tell you, they will tell their friends about you, and
Yeah.
so that's like creating the goodwill.
Yeah, it's the simplest thing in business, but it's the most important thing. Just do a good job. Be in
right.
communication, set expectations. The little things, which I feel like sometimes people lose sight of the importance on them, because there's so much complication in business nowadays,
Yeah.
and technology you can implement, and marketing techniques you can implement, and ways you can do things. But those core fundamentals, just like take care of the person and job and customer in front of you,
That's
and then
right.
get your team to do that and frame everything you do around that. I feel like it's so key. So I agree.
Yeah, and the saying also, it is like like do the job. You don't need to add drama, to the job. You are paid to do the job. Do the F job.
Yeah.
And then get the hell out of it. Do the best you can do, and you don't need to milk the job or make it
God.
longer.
I know what you're saying actually though, because like we mostly right, most of our stuff is all in house and stuff, right? But sometimes if we're doing some soffit or every once in a while some siding, I'll have a sub for those portions.
Yeah.
And I've experienced what you're talking about, where like the person comes in and it almost feels like, and I'm not accusing, but it feels like they're trying to make it like a problem, or trying to come in and make it a big deal, or oh, now we're gonna need some extras here, and oh, this there, and oh, you're not doing this part, and it feels like they're trying to make it a problem.
Yeah.
But rather than that, coming in with like okay, my attitude is I'm gonna make the project go right. It's my job, it's my project. I'm gonna do everything in my power to make it go right.
Yeah.
Obviously, I need help from my partners in this, and your GC or whoever. There are things that people can do to make things tougher for sure, but. Yeah, I agree with you there.
Yeah, but this is like, okay, you are there to do the job, right? So just do it, and stuff will happen.
Yeah.
Just like
Take
overcome
care of
them,
it.
Take
and
care
then
of it,
and then
yeah.
that's it.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, that's what everybody says who has a construction business. They say, stuff will happen, and we take care of it. 'Cause it's just going to. It's how it is. So,
Yeah.
awesome, guys. All right, well, let's see. To wrap up, what would you guys say to someone who's interested in getting into the trades business, maybe into demolition, maybe into another field in the trades? What would you give to them as advice and just starting off? Maybe somebody's on their own right now, being a handyman or something. They're interested in building something. What would your advice be?
I would say find your niche and get professional at it, so you can deliver a high quality product.
Yeah.
And then just deliver it, and then you'll create the demand, Make sure you have all of your kind of legalities in place.
Yep.
So you're doing everything above board, but just deliver a really good product and you will create the demand.
Yeah, and if you wake up in the morning and you love it, you don't have to drag yourself, but you are like, hey, I'm going to do that today.
Yeah.
This might not be that easy, but that will help to get you to be successful at it.
Yeah.
Agreed. Talking about niches, I think it's so funny. But there was a guy my brother was telling me about, just to talk about a crazy small niche that you might not even think about. But it was sliding doors. It was this little part that you just replaced in sliding doors. It was this weird thing having to do with sliding doors. Anyway, but there's a guy, and that's what he was. He was like the sliding door guy, and that's all that he did all day long. But guess what? He is like packed up, busy, and he makes very good money. Why? Because who does sliding glass doors as a sole focus?
Yeah.
I can't think of one off the top of my head, but that's what this guy like kind of created his business off of, and he's I think like a 1 or 2 man show, right? Very small time, but he does his little promotion, gets his word of mouth, and he just does extremely well in that little niche. So you just never know, whatever, you know, it's something you find passionate about or like, a niche, you can go crazy in it. So
Totally.
awesome, guys. Okay, well, good. Well, thank you guys so much for coming on. I appreciate it. If somebody wants to, you know, learn more about you guys, maybe work for you guys are awesome to work for, get some work done from you guys, demolition-wise, what's the best way to contact or learn more about you guys?
727-466-0000.
Yeah, very easy number. 727
That is a very easy number.
Yeah. Or just Google
0000.
Dynamite Demolition.
Dynamite Demolition. You guys service like Greater Tampa Bay area.
That's right.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, well, thank you guys so much for being on. I appreciate you
you
guys.
so much.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.